Okay, so what we discussed was a simple login system. That was that how to build a simple login system with simple user models. Simple login system is there. Okay, then we learned that how to connect to the database, connect to the database. Okay, and then we created some model. Okay, creating models. Okay, then we learned Flask migration. Flask migration. Okay, so we learned Flask migration, and Flask migration is for changing the database columns. Okay, then we understood between we understood how to create models, how to pass values to routes. Okay, how to pass values in session. Okay, then how to do flash messages. Okay, then we did Flask migration. Okay, and we all know how to do basic CRUD. Okay, so create, read, update, delete. Okay, and then we learned that how to go about the relationships. Okay, so how to go about the relationships are really crucial. Okay, and you need to understand it really well. Okay, so we did that. Okay, so connecting tables. Okay, so everything is done. Okay, everything is done mostly. Okay, the core requirements. So my responsibility of the bootcamp is to guide you through the core functionalities. So the only core functionality is left is the charts. Okay, but still I'm going to show you the search functionality. Okay, because it was in core before. Okay, it was in core before, and now it is not in the core. So but still I will show you. It is really simple. Okay, the first thing that I'm going to do is search. Then I'm going to explain the Matplotlib. Okay, it is really simple. Okay, and then what we are going to do is we are going to explore the GitHub. Okay, so that's it for the bootcamp, because everything the part that is really necessary is discussed. Okay. Okay, so what we are going to do is now we know relationships, we know CRUD. Okay, so what is the exact thing that I want you to understand at this point is that please, try to connect the things to your application. Okay, see how I'm going about the login, see how the things are going to be. Okay, in your application, how the models will be, how do you have a connection between the models. Okay, how to connect the models, I told you already. Okay, but how to establish the connection, and what exactly the connection key will be, how you will make the connection, that is the different thing that you need to figure out on your own. Okay, so making the models, understand the relationships between them, it's your work. Okay, and then doing the CRUD. Okay, so it is monotonous work only. Okay, create, read, update, delete, slash, get request, post request, monotonous, taking data, passing data. Okay, okay, so that is the thing that I want you to understand really well. Okay, so now it's all up to you how well you create the project. I did my work, at my best. Okay, so I provided you everything that you can to build a core functionality, full of core functionalities, code. Okay, so yeah, so now what we are going to do is we are going to explore the search. Okay, then we are going to explore the plot. Okay, and then we are going to explore the GitHub, and that's it. Okay, so my responsibility is to making sure that I cover all the core functionalities, so it is done. Okay, some sessions have took more than expected time to make you understand some things. Okay, so that's why I will not be able to discuss extra things, and I was mostly not going to. Okay, because anyways something, there are some things that you'll have to figure out on your own. Okay, so my boot camps are to just guide you to your path. Okay, not just like we are not told to hold the finger and cross the border. Okay, it's not like that. Okay, you need to figure out things on your own also. Okay, so first thing that we are going to do right now is we are going to see the search functionality. Okay, we're going to see the search functionality. Okay, so I'm going to code it first, and then I'm going to show you the implementation. Okay, so I'm going to code it directly, because now you all understand how the things are and how it is going to be. So now let's see. Okay, so this is my app.py. Okay, and let's say I'm searching for something. So what will I do? I will here take a request. Okay, I will take a request dot route. Okay, and I'll say search. Okay, I'll say search. Okay, and search will take a parameter here, that what is the query exactly that you are going to search. Okay, so let's name it q. Okay, so let's name it q, and the methods that are allowed is get and post both. We are going to use post actually. Okay, so if you use get, it doesn't matter though, because anyways I'm passing the URL inside the, I'm passing the query inside the this parameter. Okay, so you can take a form data, you can take the form data and you can yourself do this. Okay, so you can take the query parameter, or you can just fetch the parameter from the data. So let's take it from the form. Okay, so I'm going to say that search. Okay, and what I'm going to do is that there is no get request, and I'm not rendering the search.html, because the search parameter will be on the so search parameter will be on the dashboard. Okay. So I'm gonna set up a search in the dashboard. Okay, so then dashboard, what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to create a separate form for it. Okay, so after all of this, okay, on the top of all this, let's say, okay, so hello, welcome to a personalized dashboard, album one. So this is not the thing. Yeah. So right now let's do it here. Okay, so let's create a form. Okay, so the action will be, it will go to the search route. Okay, it will go to the search route. Okay, and method is equal to post, as you can assume. Okay, so method is equal to post, and now I'm going to have a input type and submit. Okay, so input type search, placeholder search for an album or song, name is equal to search. So I'll just put name is equal to query. Name is equal to query. Input type will be submit, value search. Okay, so yeah, so let's just take this input inside the route. Okay, so I'm going to fill this form, name is equal to query. So what I'm going to do is directly, okay, so I'm going to say that if request dot method is equal to post. Okay, I wanted to fetch the query, so search underscore query is equal to request dot form dot get. Okay, and I'm gonna find name query. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is, I'm going to use a simple line of search. Okay, so the simple line of search is search underscore results is equal to db dot session dot query. So this is how you can query also. Okay, so you can use direct the table name, otherwise you can use db dot session dot query, and then you can use the table name here, song. Okay, song. And let's say that I'm going to do is that based on the search query, I'm going to find all the matching songs and all the matching albums. Okay, so I'm repeating myself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find all the matching songs and all the matching albums. Okay, so first I will write I will write the song one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is db.session.query song. Okay, I'm going to say dot filter. Okay, and then I'm going to say that song dot the property song name. Okay, dot. Okay, so there are two types. Okay, so you can type I like. Okay, so I like means insensitive. Okay, so case insensitive search. I like means case insensitive search. Case insensitive means it takes capital M and small m as same. Okay, so that is case insensitive search. Okay, so if you remove the I, then it will be case sensitive search. Okay, then I like, and then I'm going to use basic string formatting, and I'm going to say as that this should be same as. Okay, so I'm going to use mod. Okay, and here will be the search query dot all. Okay, so this is the basic thing. I'm going to say that search query should be there. Okay, other than that I don't mind what is there. Okay, simple dbms syntax. Okay, There's a DBMS syntax. How this is how you query in the database. You put this mod. You indicate that I don't care what is here and what is here. I just care about that search query is there. Okay. So you will see the results. Okay, search results. This is song search results. Okay, song search results. Okay, and now it's going to be the album search results also. Album search results, and that will be db.session.query album filter album.album name I like search query dot org. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pass a new template here. Okay, I'm gonna say render template search results dot html. Okay, and then I'm gonna pass this. Okay, so I'm gonna pass songs is equal to song search results and albums is equal to album search results. Okay, and query is equal to search query. It is not necessary you pass or not, but yeah, you can pass it. Okay, now I'm taking the data and I'm rendering a template. What is search results.html? Now it doesn't exist. Okay, so I'm gonna say search results.html. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to iterate through this. Okay, so I will say first I will template do this boilerplate coding. Then I'm going to say search results for the query. Okay, so I'm going to say the query that the user has searched. Okay, and then I'm going to pass it. Okay, and then I'm going to say that h3. Okay, matched songs. Okay, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to do a for loop. Okay, so you can put if condition. Okay, so let's understand this. Okay, so if songs exist. Okay, if songs exist. Okay, so any if condition statement or any conditional statement or any loops needs to end in the chinja. Okay, whenever you are using chinja, if needs to end, and then for loop also needs to end. Okay, so this is the thing that you need to understand. So if songs exist, okay, then you will make a list. Okay, unordered list. Okay, you will means unordered list. Then you're going to say for song in songs, I'm going to print song song object. Okay, so I'm going to print the song name. Okay, then singer name and then album name. Okay, so this is this songs like list is the list of object that has passed the the list of. So this is the list of objects that has passed the search results, right? The list of objects that has passed the search results. I'm going to comment this. Sorry, I'm going to take it to the next slide, and I'm going to comment this. Okay. So it has all the properties. Okay, as you can see, it has all the properties, and same for the albums we're going to do. So no songs found if. So see, as you can see, if songs exist, then I'm going to do this. Else, I'm going to say. So now what I'm going to say is that I'm going to, if the condition is not satisfied, then I'm going to say no songs found. Okay, and then I'm going to end the if condition. So conditional statements as well as for loops needs to end. Okay, otherwise it will give error. Now same for the like albums. Okay, so I'm gonna say h3 matched albums. Okay, and then I'm gonna say if albums, then do this. Okay, then album doesn't have a single name. Okay, so I'm gonna just remove this. Okay, and here you can see. Okay, now let's see the results. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so what I want you to understand here is that what I did. Okay, so first in the dashboard.html, let's run this and see this. Py. This will run properly. Come on. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm gonna follow this link. Okay, and welcome to the landing page. Submit. Sign up. 1 2 3 4 5, enter. Yeah, so as you can see here, the search is there. So what I did was that I put a search form here, as you can see, and I said that I'm going to send some query here. So let's send D. Okay, so D should match this. Okay, and in albums it should match this one. Okay, and this one. Okay, so now what is happening is this is sending the query to this search route. Okay, and now what will happen is that when the search route will get the request, then it will find the query, okay, which I submitted in the form. Will query the songs from the table, will query the albums from the table, and finally enter the template. Okay, I'm gonna pass the search. See, search results for D. Match songs, no songs found. Okay, so I guess like I passed D and it is case insensitive search. I guess it is case insensitive. Yeah. Then why? So let's see the database. Yeah. So song has song name. Acha, song name is this. Singer names are this. Okay. So song name doesn't have D. Okay. So that's why. Okay. Now, if I say matched albums, okay. So let's say I'm going to say that let's pass it O. Okay. O. Then see, match songs are O means this is like song one. Okay. So song one has O. The song two also has O. Song three has O. This has O. This has O. Okay. And this love and rock has O here. Okay, so this is how you do a simple search. Okay, so as you can see, your dashboard is really, now if you give css to this, then this is really good. Okay, so you can add an album from here, you can add a song in any album here. Okay, so you can add albums, add songs, remove songs. This is a proper admin dashboard. Okay, now you can check. Okay, so you can check that if the user's role, so you have this property, right? So you have this property of is admin. So you can say that if is admin is true, then show all these. Okay, you can use Jinja. Okay, you can use if condition. Okay, and you can say that if is admin is true, then give access to edit, delete, okay, and add a song. Okay, so let's just do once. Okay, so the Darsh that I'm logging in is not admin. Okay, so what I'm gonna say is that in albums, okay, so give option to delete and edit only if, okay, only if. So I'm gonna say here. Okay, so I'm gonna say if, okay, if, but I don't have user details here. Okay, so the problem is that I don't have user details here. I have dash username. Okay, I just have username. I don't have the user object. Okay, so now there is a problem. Okay, because my dashboard, as I repeated, as I told you, my dashboard doesn't have my user what do you say, my user object. Okay, so now I need to find the user object. So I have a username from the session. Okay, so what I'm going to do is user is equal to user dot query dot filter by username is equal to user and first. Okay, and then I'm going to say that the chinja user is equal to user. Now this is the whole object. Okay, this is the whole object of the user. So the object will have these properties: username, ID, password, is admin, everything will be there. Okay, so now what I'm gonna say is that when I go to the dashboard, I'm gonna pass an if condition here. Okay, and I'm gonna say uh, if, okay, user dot is admin. Okay, if it is true, then only show this. Okay, then only show these both. Okay, these both, and then I'm gonna end the if condition. Okay, and okay, now control tilde and let's run this. And if I go back and I will 1 2 3 4 5 submit. Okay, user is undefined. Okay, so user is undefined. What happened? Let's rectify this error. So this is undefined. Okay, so username. Okay, so this is a problem, I guess. It is not username. Oh, it is username. So what is the problem? Let's see again. So username should be equal to user. the username that is in the session. Yeah, that's good. Then what is happening? Let's see. Let's print the user. Okay. Let's restart the server also, and let's go back. Okay. Let's go to login. Let's log in as 123. Oh, sorry. One, two, three, four. Submit. User is undefined. Okay. As usual, error is coming. Let's see. Um. Okay. Let's see the sequence. Okay. Dashboard. Yeah. So first it will print the user. User is being printed here. Okay. So there is no problem. Acha, okay. So I passed Jinja user. Okay, I passed Jinja user to the template. I was using user. Okay, so I'm gonna say Jinja user. Now it is good. Okay. Now it doesn't need to give me errors. And then I'm gonna now say that submit. See, now the user two. Okay, so now the user two, which is Darsh, he will not see the like edit or delete options, as you can see. Okay, so the name is also yeah, so name is also got control C, and here I'm going to say control V. I'm going to put it out of the if condition, and then I'm going to refresh the page again. Let's, as you can see, album game, add song is there, but edit and delete is not there as the admin is not there. This is what you mean by like when you say someone that I use Ninja for dynamic templates. So for different users, you can pass the user ID, and for different users, you can show different things. Okay, so this is how you basically do the things. Okay, so okay. So the search and the like admin part is done. That how can you show the things to only admin? Okay. So now what we are going to do is we are going to put inside this.
So
Okay.
whenever the data updates, it will also get updated.
Yeah, because every time you will tap on the summary, suppose let's say data is updated. Okay, so let's say you update the data. Okay, then you will when you will tap on the summary page, every time it will fetch from the database. So every time the updated data will come. Okay, every time it will fetch from the database, and every time it will the updated data will come. Okay, so let's give you an example. So let's say plt.png contains DJ Love Rock and Drive 2. Okay, so let's delete the Drive 2 album. Okay, so I will delete the, so right now I will not be able to delete. I will need to log in from the admin side. So what is the admin side? Admin. Let's open the Bootcamp DB admin and pass admin. Okay, so pass admin. I'm gonna submit. Server is not running, so I'm gonna run it again. And then I'm gonna refresh. Okay. So as you can see, the user was admin, so user was able to see it. Okay. So right now, if you can see, the plt.png has drive to. Okay, so when I will delete this album, okay, then I will tap on summary. Okay, so right now you are not able to see the drive 2 has been vanished. So whenever the database will be updated, because every time I click on the summary, every time I click on the summary, guys, I am getting the data again from the database every time, and then I'm generating the file again. Okay, I'm generating the file again, and I'm showing it to the summary page. Got it? So this is how you generate graphs.
And chart.js is a different thing, right?
Yeah, it is up to you. You want to use it or not. I just showed you the basic implementation so that you can adjust the sizes and everything. Charts.js is just JavaScript implementation that if you want you can use it. But for me, the basic thing that you can do is this. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, you can use different permutation combinations. Okay, so it is up to you. Okay. So now the last thing that is left is that the Git GitHub. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a high level overview and implementation. Okay. So what is Git? Okay. So what is Git? There is a last section. Okay. Alvida iske baad. Okay. So Git is the version control system. Okay, so let's say you are making a project and you have a like a thing that you want to pull it together. Okay, so suppose Shubham is working on the login and everything, and Arpit is working on the plots. Okay, so they will update the data in the local device. Okay, but how they are gonna keep updated each other's code? Okay, and that when comes the GitHub. Okay, so as you can see, you create a repository like this. So Git is a version control system. We use Git to control the versions of our applications and maintain and collaborate and everything. Okay, and GitHub is a UI that helps us doing this. Okay, okay, so GitHub is a UI that helps us managing this and maintaining this and etc. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna explain you. Okay, so what happens is that GitHub, uh, let's WSL, and I'll navigate to my folder. Okay, so it is taking time turning on. So WSL is restarted. So I'm gonna say CD music, CD bootcamp, CD bootcamp May 25. Okay, and then I'm in the same folder as this. Okay, so I open the VS Code. I open the VS Code. Okay, and as you can see, the same code is there. Now I've made some changes. Okay, so Bootcamp May 25. If you see the repository of Bootcamp May 25, this is the Bootcamp Mad one. This is a different one. If I see the Bootcamp 25 repository, here it is. So this doesn't have the search and everything. Okay, so this doesn't have the search and everything. Okay, so how do I do that? Okay, so let's just like understand that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is that I'm not gonna experiment in this. I'm gonna create a new folder. So experiment. Okay, cd experiment, and I'm gonna create a new file here. Okay, so don't worry about the command. I'm just creating a new file. Okay, so So as you can see now, here some text.txt is there. Now, if I want to, what if I want to push this code? So as simple as that. Okay, so suppose you have your code. Okay, so you have your code. Let's say you have your code here. Okay, so how do you, push this code to GitHub? How do you push this code to GitHub? Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to initialize the empty repository first. Okay, so I'm going to say git init. Okay, so we'll initialize the empty repository first. Okay, just a second. Yeah, okay, so I initialize the empty repository. Okay, here, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to GitHub. Okay, I'm going to go to GitHub and I'm going to create an empty repository. I'm going to create an empty repository so that I can push the code to GitHub. Okay, so let's just create a new repository from here. Okay, and then when you create the repository now, so here you can give a name. So I'll say experiment. Okay, so you can do this, and then I can create the repository. Okay, and the repository has been created, experiment. Okay, so I'm gonna just copy the URL. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do is that okay, so first you need to understand two things. Okay, so you need to create an empty repository, and second thing, you need to have SSH key. Okay, so the SSH key is because to like verify. Okay, verification. Okay, so suppose you are pushing the code to your repository. Okay, so suppose Arpit has an email ID arpit@gmail.com, and from the local machine Arpit is trying to push the code to that arpit@gmail.com. Okay, so how the GitHub is going to verify that the code pusher is Arpit only? Okay, the code pusher is Arpit only. Okay, so that is going to be identified by SSH key. Okay, so SSH key is going to verify it. Okay, so before verifying it, we need to have an SSH key. Okay, so we have some simple commands for that. Okay, So first is SSH keygen. Okay, so like this. Okay, so you are going to create this. Okay, and my email ID is just a second. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to put this command to create the SSH key. Okay, for my email ID. Okay, so it is generated. You just putting enter. Okay, passkey enter, overwrite everything. Okay, then it already exists in mine. Okay, so you can create new one. Okay, but mine is being overwritten. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read that SSH key. Okay, so I'm gonna read that SSH key because I need to add it in my GitHub also. Okay, so what you need to do is that you need to do this, and then you need to copy. Okay, so you need to copy the whole thing. Okay, so just a second, you need to copy the whole thing like this, and then what you need to do is that you need to go to GitHub. Okay, you need to go to GitHub and go to your profile. Okay, go to your profile settings. Then you need to go to SSH key JPG keys, and I will create a new SSH key called experiment. Okay, and then I'm gonna paste the whole key. Okay, so this is the key that I'm gonna paste. I pasted. Add. I'm gonna do the password. Just a second. Yeah, now the thing is key is already in use. Okay, so key is already in use. Okay, so that means that I've added. So this is how you add. Okay, so I have added like this. Okay, and once you add it, you are ready to go. Okay, so once you add it, you are ready to go, and you will be verified properly. Okay, so what we did, okay, we created one empty repository first. Okay, we created one empty repository first. Okay, then we initialized here git init. Okay, then we created one SSH key and added it into our data. Okay, then how we are going to verify. Okay, so then we are going to verify that the SSH connection is done or not. Okay,
But
for the
before
verification.
creating the empty repository, how you first connected your GitHub with VS Code?
I don't connect GitHub with VS Code. Okay, so I'm not using VS Code. I'm using terminal. I'm just explaining you the basic commands to do that. Okay, so that you can push your local code to the GitHub. Okay, so there is a SSH connection, verification command. So you can tap it and you can see if you are authenticated or not. So if this comes in, then you are successfully authenticated. So first you need to do what is initialize the empty repository. Okay, create a new repository in GitHub. Okay, then create SSH key using these commands. Okay, then add the SSH key as I said in the GitHub. Okay, and then verify this. Okay, after you verify this,
So no any other extension or something is not needed.
no. You just need to have WSL, and if you don't have WSL, then you can just directly go to the terminal of PowerShell. Also, and you can do it. Okay, so Git needs to be
Okay.
installed. Okay, so you need to just make sure that this Git is installed in your device. Okay, so you need to install Git, and that's it. Okay, so I'm using WSL. You can use Windows PowerShell also. Okay, so that is your choice. So these are the things that you need to do. I hope this is clear. Now after the verification, okay, after the verification, one important thing you need to do. Okay, so what we are going to do is after the verification, okay, you need to set the remote origin. Okay, so if you check your remote origin, git remote -v. So if it exists, then it will give something. If it doesn't exist, then it will not give you anything. So you need to add one remote origin. Okay, so why remote origin is necessary? Because using the remote origin, you will be able to push your code to GitHub, and that origin is to be set to uh, you know that origin needs to be set to SSH. Okay, so that command is git remote add origin git at the github.com. Okay, my username is Darshan Ganatra 01. Okay, and then my repo name is experiment, right? Okay, now if I do git remote -v, then as you can see, git at that GitHub is there. Okay, one more thing can happen. Okay, so while adding origin, what mistake that you can do is that you can while adding the origin. Okay, so while adding the origin, maybe your git remote -v will show here HTTP. Okay, Okay, but you need to understand that you should not show HTTP, because when the remote origin is set as HTTP, it will use HTTP method verification. Okay, it will ask for your password, username and password, and it can be a little tricky to do that. Okay, it can give errors and can be a little tricky to do that. So what I want you to do is that what I want you to do is that what I need you to do is that make sure that this is not HTTP and this is Git. If this is Git, then it will use the SSH key as verification. Okay. Now after adding the origin, then you can do what? Git add dot. Okay. Git add dot. Git commit. So with commit, you need to pass a message. Okay. I'm gonna say initial commit. Okay. And then I'm gonna say git push. That's it. Okay, so sometimes this can be suggested. So you have not set upstream. Okay, so now you will set upstream. So now it is done. Okay, so now if I will show you the repository that I created, if I will see the repository that I created, I'll go to profile and see if you can see the experiment is should be created. Where is the repository? Experiment here. Yeah. So see, it is updated now. Okay, and if I will see, initial commit is there, message is there, some text is there. Okay, and now it has been pushed to my thing. And now every time I am updating the code, let's say I am updating the text file. Okay, when I'm updating the code, okay, so I'll say nano some text. Okay, I'll say hello from Arpit. Okay, so control X, yes. Then I'm gonna say directly git add. Okay, then push what the changes that you made. Okay, what are the changes that you made? Yeah, I said hello to Arpit. Okay, then I'm gonna say git push, because the origin is being added. Then you don't need to worry about it. It will verify it itself and then it will push it. Okay, if it needs, then it will do something. So yeah, so now if you see here, in the GitHub repository, I will refresh, and as you can see here, hello to Arpit is there, and I am doing hello from Arpit. Okay, okay. Am I clear on GitHub? Okay, so this is how you push your code to GitHub. Okay, and if you go back, so let's say my code. Okay, so cd uh, bootcamp May 25. Okay, I'll say ls. I'll say first clear. Then I'll say I want to make the changes. So I'm gonna say git add dot. Okay, so it's taking time. Okay, I'll update the code. Okay, so git add dot git commit minus m and then git push. That's it. Okay, so I'll do it later. Okay, right now it is taking time. Okay, and the last and final thing I wanted to show is that how do you make a collaborator. Okay, so that is the last thing that we are going to do now. So how do you make a collaborator? So it is really easy. You go here to the settings of the repository. You will be given one ID. Okay, you will be given one ID, and you will have to just paste that ID here. Okay, make the repository public. That is the rule of the project. Okay, so make the repository private. Okay, so this from features pull request, delete this repository. When you create, you need to specify. Okay, so there was a thing called private and public, so you need to modify that. Okay, and then you can just put the just a second, check the repository. Yeah, so here danger zone, you can see here danger zone. I can tap to change to private. Okay, so I'm going to make this repository private so that no one can push it and anything doesn't happen. So I'll refresh. It didn't change. Just a second. I want to make this repository private. I've read and understand this effects. Make this repository private. Yeah. So now the repository is private. Okay. And now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna add some collaborators. Okay. So I can add some collaborators. So you will be given one ID. Okay, so for now I'm just keeping my student ID. Okay. Let's keep it okay, so let's keep some random. Okay, so let's just write the whoever comes. Yeah, like this, and I can add. Okay, so you will type the email ID that is given to you in the document, then you can add to the repository, and then you are done. Okay, so what are the things that I discussed? Okay, first you need to initialize the empty repository, then you need to create one in the GitHub, empty one. Okay, then you need to generate an SSH key and add it to the GitHub. Okay, then you need to make sure that your remote origin is git at the GitHub, not HTTPS at the GitHub. Then you can add commit and push. Okay, and I hope you saw the repositories also. Done. Okay, so guys, GitHub is done, search is done, Matplotlib is done, all core
For
functionality is
GitHub,
done.
is there any way to just to do with VS Code and extension something?
So you can do it with VS Code. Okay, so if you can see here, you can do it with VS Code, but yeah, see here. Okay, so I have connected it with my thing. You can just explore it. Okay, so you can just pass here and you can commit code directly from here. Okay, but making the collaborator and everything, you need to do it from GitHub only. But here you can see you can commit code and everything you can do from here. Okay,
So
but
you have
this SSH remote
any
origin that you need to manage
extension?
yourself. No, there is no extension or anything. This is directly it is visible only. Okay, so it's not an extension. It is visible only here. Source control. Okay,
Okay,
it is
it's
already
after
linked.
when you did the WSL thing.
Yeah, you can do no. It is before only. You can do this from here or WSS. Okay, so you can do this from here, but I wanted to explore this yourself. Okay, I explained you the hard part. Okay, but exploring this is really easy. Okay, but steps you need to understand that SSH key is really necessary. Okay, making the repository is really necessary. Okay, otherwise you will not be able to push it properly. Okay,
Like you're having this message and commit option here.
yeah, so
In
you
my
can
VS
do it.
Code, I'm not
Yeah,
able because it is not there.
there will be there's not an extension or something like that. It is just like there only icon that source control. Okay, I don't think so. There is any extension for that. No. Okay, so maybe no. See, as you can see, it is not installed. Still, like I am able to see this, right? So you'll be able to see, explore it yourself. Okay. Otherwise, you can try this from terminal also. I'll give you the recording. Okay, it is easy. You can ask AI. Okay. But the main thing that I wanted to understand is create a repository. Okay, and make a collaborator. Okay, and then push your code every time you update in the GitHub. Okay, and explore the GitHub document for more details. Okay. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, so any other doubts, any other thing that you want to ask? This is the last session, and we are going to end everything from here because all the core functionalities are being covered. Extra things are being covered. Okay, I'm not going to take more sessions. Anyways, the deadline is extended. Okay, all the very best, guys. I wish Viva. Okay, so for Viva, level one, if you say level one is just checking the core functionalities. Okay, and level two is like checking the code. They will ask questions from your code. Okay, so they will ask questions from your code, and they will ask questions from the uh, you know like theory also. Okay, they can ask like a lot of questions in level 2. Okay, so level 1 is 40 marks. Okay, and level 2 is 60 marks. Okay, so what we needed to understand is that 40 marks is really easy if you cover all the core functionalities. And level 2, the example of questions are in this doc. Okay, so you can explore this doc. Okay, these type of questions you get, and also you can get new questions from your code if you have used something else. Plus, you get to you will maybe have a challenge to like modify something in your code and do something in your code that they will ask modify this feature, do something like this. Okay, when submitting project, which files you need to remove, like migration file is removed. So when submitting, you need to remove the virtual environment file. Okay, because that is really large. Other than that, you don't need to remove anything. You can just zip and submit it. Okay, so that is not an issue. Okay. Okay, anything else, guys? Other than that, simple questions you can ask. Okay, but related coding, related concepts, related core functionalities, if you have any questions, then you can ask it right now. Other than that, I'm free on Google chat. You can message me regarding the Viva, you can message me regarding the code, and I will answer. Okay.